Welcome to Cal's Cinema. This is Nightcrawler. Does Lou Bloom reflect the reality of the American dream, and does Nightcrawler accurately represent modern journalism, even modern media as a whole? Those are the questions we will be looking to answer with this video, as well as giving Nightcrawler a score out of 10. So stick around and be sure to hit subscribe to catch future reviews. Despite Nightcrawler having been released a decade ago at the time of writing this video, its themes on capitalism, exploitation, and media manipulation are clearly even more relevant today than back in 2014. After moving to Los Angeles, writer-director Dan Gilroy noted the abundance of violent crime coverage on local news stations. After some research, he discovered the profession of the stringer, freelance videographers who sell footage to news stations. Realizing that this was an original idea for a script, Nightcrawler was developed. The Los Angeles set neo-noir tells the tale of stringer Lou Bloom in a seriously underrated performance by Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, maybe he had tough opposition that year, but he should have at least got a nomination. This was back when the Oscars still had some prestige. While it's safe to say that Gyllenhaal carries the film, the supporting cast of Rene Russo as Nina, Riz Ahmed as Rick, and the late Bill Paxton as Joe all do their best against Jake's scene-stealing performance as the creep with the camera and a can-do attitude. Everyone that stars opposite Gyllenhaal appears at times to be suitably both mesmerized and unnerved by his performance.
I feel like grabbing you by your ears right now and screaming in your face, I'm not fucking interested.
And as we get into the upward or downward trajectory of Lou's shocking career path, now is as good a time as any to give a spoiler warning. If you've not seen Nightcrawler, go ahead and watch it and come on back.
You will be seeing me again.
I believe you.
Right from the beginning of Nightcrawler, it's made very clear to us that there is something off about Lou Bloom. Gyllenhaal's transformation involved going full-on Christian Bale and dropping 30 pounds in preparation for the role. The result is the impression that Bloom is more than anything else hungry, as later shown with his determination and ruthlessness in achieving his goals. Despite the fact that Lou uses vanilla corporate lingo and displays social behaviour that suggests he may be somewhere on the spectrum, so to speak, beneath all that he is nonetheless a remorseless sociopath. In the vein of Anton Chigurh, Patrick Bateman, and countless others before and after, there is still something captivating about watching the cold-hearted villains that operate outside the supposed rules of our society. That's not to say that Lou considers himself a villain. No, in fact, he considers himself something of a go-getter, someone who is only chasing the success that he has been taught is given to those who work hard, even if that hard work involves exploitation, invasion of privacy, and even orchestrated and attempted murder. Indeed, the score for Nightcrawler may seem weirdly uplifting at first and not at all representative of the gruesome crime scenes that appear on screen. That is until you realise that the positive music is from the perspective of Lou, which in turn plays into a dark streak of humour that the film has, coming from Lou's unhinged outlook on life. He is seemingly unaffected by the car crashes and murders he comes across, and is instead inspired by his own brazenness in the boundaries he crosses to do so. Each crime filmed is just another clip to add to his portfolio, another paycheck, and step on his ladder to building his so-called professional news gathering service.
The name of my company is Video Production News, a professional news gathering service. That's how it should be read and that's how it should be said.
In an ideal world, Lou would never succeed in his ventures because honest people would refuse to work with him. However, in Nightcrawler, Lou is enabled in his predatory behaviour by almost everyone around him, from the pawn shop owner who trades the obviously stolen bike for what becomes Lou's first camera, all the way up to news editor Nina and the higher-ups within the network who clamour to get the most graphic and shocking footage for ratings. In fact, in supporting Bloom and helping him grow through their own greed and lack of decency, they end up losing control to Lou's overbearing nature.
Jesus Christ, friends don't pressure friends to fucking sleep with them.
Actually, that's not true, Nina. Because as I'm sure you know, a friend is a gift you give yourself.
And in his callousness and resolution, Lou does indeed succeed in becoming a major player in the Los Angeles news scene. It's doubtful, however, that he would have climbed so high or so fast without his cutthroat personality and lack of empathy for others. Nightcrawler seems to explore the long-held belief that capitalism is inherently evil and by design rewards those individuals that are willing to take the steps that others won't in order to achieve their goals. Lou is violent from the outset and goes on to sabotage and potentially fatally harm the opposition. He extorts a sexual relationship from Nina and even chooses to have Rick, his intern and arguably closest thing to a best friend, killed to ensure his silence. All of this, or most of it, serves to maintain and grow Lou's business no matter what the cost to those around him.
I can't jeopardize my company's success to retain an untrustworthy employee.
But perhaps the more obvious message in Nightcrawler is the commercialization of news media in the United States and now today worldwide. Without getting too political, it's obvious now more than ever that media can be used to divide the public and indoctrinate viewers with devastating effect. While Nightcrawler doesn't stray into the world of politics, it nonetheless displays the willingness of Nina's news channel to create a narrative outside of the reality of what's really happening or not happening in LA to serve the purposes of generating higher ratings and at the end of the day, ultimately more money. Lou serves as just a small gear in the machine of the media, and the real shame is that his acts are largely insignificant in the grand scheme of how the world is now presented to us through our screens, much to the horror of those who are aware of this but are ultimately powerless to change things.
You don't fool me for a minute.
I'm glad.
I think everything you said is a lie.
Looking beyond the themes of Nightcrawler for a minute, for a film shot on a budget of just $8.5 million, Gilroy's noir story looks great. He chose to shoot mostly at night in Los Angeles, not only to save money, but also give the feel of a wildlife documentary as we watch Bloom operate in his animalistic way. So, what's the verdict on Nightcrawler? Well, with Gyllenhaal's unnerving performance and a riveting tale of the pursuit of a twisted version of the American dream, Nightcrawler is an indulgent look at the underbelly of, and I hate to use the expression here, but mainstream media. With Gilroy's rapid-fire script and hair-raising action scenes, Nightcrawler's near 2-hour runtime flies by like Lou's Dodge Challenger, and if anything, makes us feel guilty for wanting to see more. Overall, the tale of Lou Bloom's willingness to exploit and capitalise on his fellow man's suffering, and the structures in place that enable him to do so, is as timeless a reflection of the state of the world today as it was back in 2014. Nightcrawler gets an 8.9 out of 10.
Outstanding work, Lou, really. Just great.
Thanks, Nina. That means an awful lot.
So, what did you think of Nightcrawler? Do you think Jake Gyllenhaal was snubbed for his performance, or is there another role of his that you prefer? You can let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe and come back again to Cal Cinema.